handy, get your ball and your band, and we're going to start by laying down on your back. We're going to put the ball between the knees, and we're going to take some deep breaths. So laying here, just allow your body to relax and tune into your body a little bit. And think about your 5 principles. So we've got the head and neck alignment, the shoulders, the ribs, the pelvis, and the breathing. So we're going to breathe in through the nose, expand and relax the belly, and then exhale, softly contract the deep core. Inhale, expand and relax, and exhale, contract. So let's put our hands on our lower belly, just below the belly button. And I want to explain a little bit about the deep core versus the abdominals, because even if you've been doing it a long time, sometimes you can overdo it and really be overusing your obliques that wrap around and gripping with those instead of necessarily the deep core. So when we inhale and expand, we expand all the way through the sides of the ribs, the back of the ribs, the belly raises, and then as we breathe out, we're not trying to really jam the muscles really tight or intense at this point. There's going to be times when, the obliques have to really kick in. But right now, it's just a small, gentle contraction. All right? Inhale, expand, and exhale. So we're not feeling a whole lot. It's not intense at all. It's just the raising of the belly and the flattening of the belly. And sometimes if your breath is not coordinated properly, then you can exhale and the belly pops up instead of flattening down. So think of it as an inflate and deflate. Inhale, inflate the belly, and exhale, deflate. So the belly gets smaller as you exhale and gets bigger when you inhale because of the air. Now let's add the imprint to that. So inhale with neutral pelvis, and then exhale to flatten to imprint. Now the glutes will want to get involved. The hip flexors will want to grab. So let's just try to stay into the core. So again, make it very gentle, very soft. Inhale, neutral. Exhale, imprint. So I find using my hands helps me figure out what's going on. So basically, my ribs, the bottom of my ribs and my hips, they kind of come together a little bit as my lower back flattens. And then as I return to neutral, they open up a little bit, that space between the ribs and the hips. Exhale, contract softly and flatten softly, not jamming it down. Inhale, neutral. Exhale, imprint. And return to neutral. Stay there for your exhale. Now hands long by your sides. Inhale, slide the shoulders up. Exhale, slide the shoulders down. Now we can stay soft through the elbows. The elbows don't need to be stiff. Inhale, up. Exhale, down. And the hands just slide along the floor. Inhale, the shoulders come up and try and stay open through the chest. Exhale. The ribs are relatively flat on the front and staying in contact with the mat on the back. Inhale and exhale. Because remember, we have ribs in the front, but we also have ribs in the back. Inhale, up. Exhale, down. Now we're going to do a couple head nods. Inhale, drop the chin. Exhale, relax the head and neck. Inhale, tuck the chin and release. So again, like our imprint and neutral, this is also quite small. Inhale, drop the chin, exhale, release. So we're just creating a little bit of space at the back of the neck as we drop our chin, but we're not over tensing these muscles. in the front of the neck that run from the sides. We're trying to use the deep neck flexors, and so the movement is quite small. And if you have a lot of tension in your neck, you may have to have a thicker pillow for your head and have your towel raising your head a little bit higher. Now let your head and neck relax and stay neutral to the pelvis. We're going to do arm circles. Inhale, the arms come overhead. Exhale around. Breathe in through the nose, raise overhead. Exhale around. So keep the back of the ribs in contact with the floor. Inhale up. Exhale around. Now change the direction. Breathe in and out. Inhale through the nose. Exhale. One more time. Inhale and exhale. Next, we're going to do hip rolls. So bring your heels a little bit closer to your bum. Squeeze the ball gently so that we have hip distance between the knees and the feet. Start with neutral. Breathe in, prepare. Exhale, contract the core. Imprint, then slowly include the glutes and hamstrings and lift. Breathe in, stay. Exhale, roll down, pressing through the upper back. Press your low back in and release to neutral. Inhale, relax. Exhale, contract and flatten the belly. Lift the bum, slowly peel it up. So if you're tight through the front of your hips, you might feel extra work in your lower back. So you don't need to come up as high, and roll down. You may also feel pulling in the knees from the quads being stretched. Inhale, relax. Exhale, contract. Or you may feel the back of your legs wanting to cramp because they're having to work extra hard against any tightness that you have here. Breathe in and roll it down. So as things become more balanced around your joints, between mobility and stability, you will get less of that fighting against back and forth. So we want it to feel like a little bit of work here, a little bit of work all over, but nothing really kind of shouting at you from your body. And slowly roll down. And right now you might notice that you don't really roll that well. Well, that's okay too. That will come with more practice. Last one. Breathe in to stay. And breathe out to roll it down. Actually, I decided we're going to do one more, and we're going to stay up there this time. Breathe in. So I want to focus on the rib cage for a second. Exhale to go up. Now when you come up, sometimes if you're tight again in the hips, you might be trying to overextend your back. So we want to pull down through the front of the ribs, stay open through the shoulders, but press up through the hips. So if you check your ribs, they should be relatively flat on the spine and not sticking up in the air and popping. That's going to make you feel like you're extra working too much in that middle upper back. So let's stay and hold and really emphasize the contraction of the core. And even though your back is working, it shouldn't be too much. One more breath. And roll it down. And release back to neutral. Now we're going to bring our hands above our chest. Inhale, stretch your fingers up to the ceiling. Exhale, pull the shoulders into the mat. Inhale, reach up so the shoulders do come forward. And exhale, slide the shoulders down. Now when you pull the shoulders down, make sure you're not popping your ribs up. So the back of the ribs stay in contact with the floor the whole time. I do have a little space at my lower back, and that's because of the position of my pelvis. So I have extra weight in my tailbone to keep my pelvis neutral, and the back of the ribs stay in contact with the floor at all times. Last one. Inhale, stretch. You're going to feel those shoulder blades widen. And rest it down. Good. Now we're going to take our ball out, come all the way up into child's pose. So sitting yourself up, flip it over, open up your knees, sit back towards your heels, stretch out through the arms and shoulders, and rest your head. Now just do a little scan of your body. You know, how are the front of your hips feeling? How's your low back? How's your knees, your shoulders, your back? And take some deep breaths. And in this position of child's pose, your belly can expand between the thighs and totally relax on the inhale. And then on the exhale, gently contract. Inhale, expand. Expand through the back of the body and the sides of the ribs as well. And then exhale, gently contract the core. Let's walk both hands slightly off to one side while maintaining our hips in the middle towards our heels, and breathe here. So we're going to feel a little more stretch down the side of the body, and see if you can emphasize your inhale to expand that side body. One more breath here. Now let's walk our hands through the center over to the other side, but not too far off to the side. Breathe deep. So I'm really emphasizing the side ribs, the side of my back, expanding on the inhale. Those intercostal muscles, so those muscles between the ribs, and come back to the middle. Now up on the hands and knees, we're going to do cat stretch. So oftentimes people think, you know, the more I can contract my core, the longer the better. No, it's not about that. It's the relaxation part is just as important. So some people actually have difficulty relaxing the core, and that is an issue. So when you inhale here, you need to feel that your belly starts to hang, okay? So gravity is going to let that happen. Now, a lot of people tend to breathe in through the chest and shoulders and not be able to get any breath down here in the belly at all. So that's what we're going to emphasize here. On the inhale, relax the belly. And for people who tend to squeeze their glutes too much, you can't squeeze your glutes here. So this is a good position to practice that relaxing of the muscles of the deep core and the abdominals all the way to the pelvic floor. So now on the exhale, we're going to contract. So breathe in, relax everything. Breathe out, contract, tuck the bum, round the back, push with the arms, release the head. Inhale, stay. Exhale, the pelvis is first to move, then the lower back second, then the ribs third, then the shoulders fourth, and the head is last. Every time you come back here, relax the belly. Breathe in. Breathe out, contract, tuck the bum, round the back, push with the arms, release the head. Inhale, stay. Exhale, pelvis first, low back, then ribs, then shoulders, then head. So we're specifically moving in that order as best you can. Breathe in, relax. Same thing, pelvis first. Curl, 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 push, 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 release the head. Inhale, stay. Exhale, pelvis, low back, middle back, shoulders, head. One more time, breathe in, relax. Breathe out, curl, curl, curl. Release the back of the neck. Inhale, hold. And exhale, come back down. Slide the shoulders away from the ears. All right, let's take our ball and turn on to our side. Now one thing, I'll show you this way. I'm going to turn my body sideways for a second. When we do this spinal rotation, a lot of people have their head forward. And then when they twist, their head is kind of forward. and then you're not going to get the range and your neck's going to be sore. So you want to pull your head back in line with the rest of your spine. And you can put a pillow under your head if you need it, or your arm, but make sure that head and neck are lined up. So then when you turn, your head is in line with the rest of your spine. And then we breathe in with the head and neck rested, and then exhale over the top. So I hope that makes sense. You're going to pull your head in line with your spine. Inhale, lift. Exhale, twist. And the ribs stay flat. Breathe in, hold. And exhale over the top. Because we're not doing a back bend. We're not arching back. We're just twisting and supporting with the muscles that wrap around our body. Breathe in to stay. And exhale back to the start. Inhale, lift and look to the ceiling. Exhale, open. Breathe in to hold. And back to the start. And remember, you can try different angles of the arm. So if I raise my arm up higher towards my head and twist, I get a slightly different stretch in the front of my chest and shoulder. Breathe in, hold. And back to the start. One more time. Inhale, lift. And exhale, twist. Breathe in through the nose and stay. And back to the start. And we're going to switch sides. I'm going to stay at this angle for today. So we got to stack the shoulders, stack the hips. The knees do not slide over one another. Pull your head back. Inhale, look to the ceiling. Exhale, twist. Breathe in and stay. And over the top. Inhale, lift, look up. Exhale, contract the core. Breathe in through the nose and hold. And over the top. Again, inhale, stretch up. Exhale, open. Breathe in and stay. And back to the start. Here we go again. Inhale. Exhale, contract the muscles in the front and that wrap around the body, supporting the spine in this twist. Hold for your inhale. And exhale over the top. Two more. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, you can try your arm at a slightly different angle. Breathe in and stay. And big exhale back over the top. One more time. Inhale, stretch up. And open. Breathe in and stay. And back to the start. Good. And we're going to sit ourselves up for half roll back. So for half roll back, we're going to bring our knees together. You may need to get your towel ready for your full roll up, or some people like to use it for this part as well. We're going to roll back halfway, keep the elbows slightly bent. Breathe in through the nose. Exhale, round the back. Stay here. Breathe in. Exhale, reach the ball up. Inhale, the ball comes down. And let's roll back up again. So here we go. Breathe in. Exhale, roll back. Inhale, stay. Exhale, reach up. Inhale, lower. Exhale, up. Breathe in at the top. Round the back. Inhale, stay. Exhale, reach up. Inhale, lower. And roll it up again. Breathe in. Inhale, stay. Exhale, reach the arms up, but keep your spine rounded. Inhale, lower. exhale up. So when the arms come up, the shoulders stay away from the ears. Breathe in. And we also keep the curve of the spine. Inhale and roll it up. Now we're going to do a little twist. We're going to take the ball in one hand, roll back and sweep. Come up, switch sides. Roll back and sweep the arm back. Inhale, come up. Exhale. And focus your breath on that deep core. So your exhale comes from the lower part of your belly. Inhale, come up. Exhale, back. 2 more. Breathe in. Breathe out. Last one. Good. Now straighten out one leg. I'm not giving you a break today. If you need one, you're going to take one for yourself. Roll back. Breathe in. And figure 8. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come up. Switch legs. Other leg straight. Roll back halfway. Inhale. And 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And come up. Good. Spine stretch forward. We're going to pull those toes up towards your face. We're going to sit up as tall as you can. We're going to breathe in through the nose. Exhale, the head comes down first, then my shoulders round forward. I bend at the navel, I point my toes down, and I stretch. First one feels pretty stiff. Breathe in. Exhale, roll back up. Start to lift the toes up, and the head comes up last. Breathe in, sit tall. Exhale, head, shoulders. Bend at the navel, point the toes. Keep the arms heavy and soft, not straight and reaching out. Keep them relaxed. Inhale, stay. Exhale, contract the core first. Start to roll up, start to stack the spine, and lift the toes. Breathe in, sit tall. Exhale, spine bends forward. Feel the stretch all the way from the neck to the feet. Inhale, stay. Exhale, roll it up. Lift the toes up. One more time. Breathe in. Lift the chest, align the spine. Exhale, bend it forward. Breathe in to hold. And slowly roll it up. And sit tall. Good. Now, with the legs straight out in front, you may need your towel rolled a little bit or a lot to go at your lower back to fill up the space. If you can get your back to press into the floor without the towel, that's great. If not, the towel is a great tool to help you keep the movement smooth. So let's reach the arms up, and the first part of the movement happens through the pelvis. I'm going to activate the deep core. I'm going to round the back. I'm going to start to roll down and rest my head. The ball comes overhead. Breathe in. Big exhale. You can reach the ball in front of you, and that's going to help you get up. But if you find the roll-ups fairly easy, you can keep your ball higher above your head. So the higher I keep my hands, the harder it is to control coming down because of that extra weight overhead. Breathe in. Big exhale. Bend forward. So again, I'd rather use the towel to be nice and smooth than to throw your arms to get you up, or if your feet are lifting off the floor, it's another reason to use the towel. Now, you want, you can just do half. You don't have to go all the way down. So if you're finding that the towel doesn't really help either, then just go halfway. Let's do one more. But some days these can feel quite good, other days you feel super stiff. And so there's other factors besides just your core. The tightness of your legs and your spine make a difference in how this one feels as well. So now we're going to take that ball, and we're going to do a really nice back bend. We're going to put it between the shoulder blades. We're going to clasp our hands, make a nice cradle for our head. If you need to lift your bum, just slide your bum down to get the ball in the right spot, because it should be between the shoulder blades and not affecting your neck. We're going to inhale, go back, and exhale, come up. So I shared a video of, like a short video, I think it's like 2 minutes or something, of this exercise, because you might want to do this one a little more often, even if you're not going to do Pilates, all the time. But if you're feeling stiff in your upper back and tension in your neck and shoulders, there's a little short video to remind you of the details of this one. Maybe, if you have a desk job and you're working on a computer, or for lots of different reasons that you may have some tension in your neck and shoulders and upper back, this is a good one that you can do. And as long as you do it slowly and do just some little small movements, you don't have to do a big warm up before you do it. Just start really small. Maybe do a child's pose or something and a cat stretch, but for the most part, you can start small and do a couple of these. And as it starts to loosen up, you can go a bit bigger. Last one, and we're going to slowly sit ourselves up. I recommend using your hands to get up, but you don't have to. And now we're going to come over and lay all the way down on our front. So now that we've gotten those muscles kind of loosened up in our upper back, now we're going to try and activate them. But today we're actually going to use our band. So this band, I'm just going to kneel up so you can see. So we're going to take our band, pretend I'm laying down on my back right now, and we're going to just loop that band in our thumbs, like this. Okay, and then as I'm laying on my stomach, I'm going to pull my shoulder blades together and then release. I'm going to exhale, tighten my core, keep my feet on the ground, and pull my shoulder blades together. We don't need to pull on the band, and we definitely don't want to lift too high, because then the shoulders will round forward. So from this position laying down, number one importance is to engage the core and the thighs, and the feet stay on the ground. Inhale, relax. Exhale, engage the core and the legs, lift the head up first, not too high. Then pull the shoulder blades together and lift the band just slightly off your bum. Breathe in, stay, and rest it down. And some people like to put the towel at their forehead so their nose doesn't go right into the ground. That's fine. Inhale. Exhale, activate the front of the thighs and the core. Lift the head up, then the shoulders. Squeeze the belly. Inhale and exhale, come back down. So the front of the ribs stay flush to the floor too. We don't pop our ribs into the ground. Inhale, exhale, strong thighs, strong core. Lift, and guess what? We're not using our butt. Because if we were using our bum, our feet would lift. And you might have your feet on the ground, but they're barely touching, or they're just hovering. You're using your bum. If you're using your bum, you're not using enough core in this exercise. Inhale, exhale, more core, more thighs, lift the head, feet are really firm into the ground. Breathe in and release. One more time. Inhale, exhale, lift. Breathe in, stay, and down. I'm going to take the band away. Now we're going to do a couple without the band. Breathe in, exhale, lift, and we're going to rotate the hands out. Breathe in, stay, and down. So the front of the shoulders open up and the shoulder blades slide together. Inhale, exhale, slide the shoulder blades together. Turn the eyes of the elbows and the palms out. Hold and release. Again, the feet do not lift off the ground at all. Breathe in and lift. Hold and stay and release. One more time. Breathe in through the nose, relax. Exhale, contract and lift. Breathe in to hold and release. Good. Now, we're going to bend the elbows. We're going to lift and press overhead. So follow my cues. Breathe in. Exhale, tighten the core and the thighs. Lift the head and hover the hands. Stay here. Breathe in through the nose. Exhale, press overhead. Inhale, bend the elbows. Exhale, press overhead. Inhale, bend the elbows. Exhale, press and look down. Inhale, bend. Last one. Bend and release. Good. And we're going to do child's pose. Push back. Rest the head. Stretch out through the arms. Take a couple deep breaths. Good. And now we're going to flip it over on our back and do some things in tabletop. I'm going to put a little pillow under my head. So we're going to keep our head rested for the first couple. We're going to take our ball, hold it in our hands above our chest. Now, if you would consider yourself advanced and you've been working on staying neutral, then you can do that. Otherwise, I want you to imprint, softly flattening the back as you pick your legs up tabletop. Exhale, pick one leg up tabletop. Breathe in. Exhale, other leg tabletop. And stay there. Breathe in through the nose. Hold and bring the ball out to one side. Inhale, center. Ball comes out to the other side. So if it's in my left hand and then my right hand, I'm going to extend my opposite leg to the hand. So my left hand and my right leg. Inhale, come back to the middle. Right hand, left leg. Come back to the middle. You do not have to add the legs at all. You can just hold tabletop if you're challenged that way. You could also keep the knee bent and tap the foot instead of extending the leg out. That takes a little bit of the intensity away, because when the leg is straight, the lever is very long and it's very challenging to maintain this position of the pelvis and the spine. Two more. Last one. And rest it down. Take a break. The next exercise we're going to do, we're going to pick our legs up tabletop again, and once they're up, we're going to put the ball between the knees. So here we go. Breathe in. Exhale, pick one leg up. Breathe in. Pick the other leg up. Use the core to set everything up properly first. Hands behind the head. Inhale through the nose. Exhale, curl up. Keep the legs tabletop and squeeze the inner thighs. Inhale, rest the head. So I'm not pulling my knees in closer to me yet. Inhale, come down. And there's a space that's maintained underneath my chin. I'm not over flexing the neck at all. I'm supporting the head and using my abdominals and my core. Squeeze the inner thighs. One more time. Now this time we're going to add a little twist. We're going to come up and twist to the side. Inhale, come down in the middle. Other side. Inhale. Squeeze the ball every time you go up. Inhale, come down. And don't try and go further than you can, because then you're going to use your neck. Keep it small. Just try and get one shoulder off the ground. That's it. Last two. Last one. And rest it down. Hug those knees in, actually. Feels good on the back. And give a big stretch, full body stretch, legs extended, arms overhead. Good. Now we're going to place the ball underneath our pelvis. So you can lift your bum up, slide that ball in, and from here, you might not know if the ball is exactly in the right spot or not. So if we put our hands down flat and pick one leg up at a time, if you feel really wobbly, then you put your feet back down and you put the ball a little bit closer to your bum. Like, I mean, when you're adjusting, it's like 1/4 of an inch up or down will make a difference. So from the position where the ball is, you should feel challenged in your core, but also not too wobbly, kind of stable, and really light in your hands, okay? Now breathe in. We're gonna extend one leg out and really emphasize contracting the core. And bring the leg up and switch. And lift and switch. And lift. You should not feel this in your lower back. If you do, you have to modify. So maybe you're just going to hold tabletop. Maybe you're going to keep your leg up nice and high. Last one. Good. Now we're going to extend the legs up and pull the toes towards your face. And this is going to give you a stretch in the back of the legs. Go back to tabletop. Exhale, extend and flex at the ankles. Quads are engaged. And bend. And extend. And bend. And extend. And one more. Now keep the legs up there and point the toes. Breathe in. We're going to scissor the legs. Scissor one. Scissor two. And I'm pulling this leg towards me. So both legs are working, not just the one going down. And the core is working to balance that out. So I'm pulling with one, pressing down with the other. And we do need to make those quads work. So if your knees are bent, your quads are not going to be working to straighten that leg. Now we're going to add a windmill. So from this straddle position, from this scissor position, we're going to straddle and trade places with the legs. Then we're going to do two scissors again. 1, 2, go slow, breathe in, straddle, and trade places. Breathe in, breathe out. Inhale as the feet come close together in the middle. Exhale as you're in that scissor position. Now open the thighs. Circle around and trade places. One more time. Our ball's a little bit low. And hug those knees in. So, should feel that in your legs, your hips, your core, all of the above. All right, now we're going to do rollover. So, you can do this with or without the ball. If you normally do it without the ball, you can just get rid of the ball now. If not, we're going to start nice and small. We're just going to do a small little lift. So basically the thighs pull towards you. You can also do this with your knees bent and your ankles crossed, especially if you're feeling you get a lot of pull in your hip flexors. Now we are pressing through the hands, but we're not throwing our legs because you don't want to put your back in a position that it's not ready for, or your neck. So this might be all you're going to do today. If you want to do the full rollover, you're going to drop those legs towards your face. I forgot to take my towel out. So you don't want to have a towel under your head for this one. Forgot to mention that. Because your head is already in forward flexion and it's not going to make it any easier. Breathe in, stay, and breathe out to roll down. The ball may not still be in that spot, so you can use your towel to help hold your ball. Or you can do it, like I said, without. We're going to do 2 more. And stay within your comfort level. Breathe in, hold. Yes, you will feel the triceps. And all the way down. Awesome. And take the ball out if you haven't taken it out already. Give it a stretch. All right. We're slowly going to sit up. So I promised you today that we were going to do some extra glutes, right? So we're going to start the bands early. But before we do that, we're going to stretch our quads. Because if we're tight through the front of our hips, it's going to be harder for us to access our glutes. Okay? Because our glutes extend our hip. They do this, right? So this stretches, this contracts. Well, if this is tight, you may not be able to get up high enough. So let's flip over and do a quad stretch first. And if you feel like you're doing this stretch and this does not feel tight for you, and you feel like, well, my quads are not tight, press your bum down, tuck your bum a little bit so that the front of your hips are nice and flat into the ground. And in this position, we're not going to do a lot of the stretching, so pick one and stay there. So with this stretch we've done before, we want to feel it here. Support with your core. We're not letting the back sag and arch. We're tucking the bum here as well. Tuck the bum. And then we're going to reach the arm up of the same side. And then we're going to switch. But if this is tight for you in general, you're going to have to spend some time extra to stretch this out. So before class or in between classes, especially like maybe you're cross-country skiing, maybe you're snowshoeing, maybe you're doing something, maybe you're sitting a lot. All those things can create shortness in this area. Good. All right, now we're gonna put the bands on. Just up over the knees. Toes point straight ahead. We're gonna press up and down. So you might even find, compared to your roll-ups that you did at the beginning of the class, your hips, you feel like, whoa, I can lift my hips up higher now. It doesn't feel as heavy. My back doesn't feel like it's working extra hard now. That's good. That's what we want. We want to feel it in the legs and the bum. Of course, the low back and the core are working, but we don't want to feel like the back is doing all the work. The toes point straight ahead, and I want you to focus on your feet for a second and make sure you have a lot of weight in the balls of the feet. The big side toe, the big toe side and the ball of the foot. So we're pulling the band apart from the hips and not from the ankles. So I hope that makes sense. Now stay up, squeeze your bum, pull your ribs down a bit more. push your bum up a bit more. Open your knees a little bit wider. Put some extra weight in the big toe side of your foot. And the burn is coming, right? Little ones, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, and release. And knees together. Slide your feet away from your bum. Keep the pelvis neutral. Exhale, tighten your core first, then open the knees. Inhale together. So very important to activate the core to open up the knees, because we want a stable pelvis. It's not too difficult to be stable here because we're flat on the floor. But in a second, we're going to be doing some side leg series, and it's really important that you stabilize your pelvis first and keep the pelvis stable so the glutes can fire. The glutes do not like to fire if the pelvis is all wobbly and all over the place. Hold the knees out, little ones. We don't want these too forceful or bouncy. We want to control and soft, and just have an overall awareness that your core is doing something. That's all. It doesn't have to be super grabby, grippy, intense, not at all. And all the way together. And we're going to take the bands off. But we're going to continue with some glutes without the band. So you're going to have to listen really carefully and tune into your body, because these can easily be done wrong. I'm going to turn a little bit on an angle so you can see my legs a bit better. So my bottom leg is going to be bent. I'm resting my head, and my top leg is going to be straight. Now, my head has to be pulled back in line so my spine is nice and straight. My ribs are slightly lifted off the ground, so my waist is not sagging down, and that will happen if your shoulder's all shrugged. So pull your shoulder under you. Lift your ribs a little bit off so your spine is nice and straight, and you're long through this top hip. So we're going to take our top hand, I'm going to say my right hand on my right hip. If you're laying the other way, it's going to be your left hand on your left hip. And we're going to pick the leg up and lower it down. Now notice my foot is now coming up much higher than my hip. And I can see in some of these videos, a lot of you are lifting your leg way too high. So I'll keep going. I'll show you what happens. If you lift your leg up high, you're using your waist. We're not doing this to work our waist. We're doing it to work our bum. So if your shirt is all wrinkling up on your side, guess what? You're shortening this waist. So don't lift as high, squeeze your bum, and make sure your bottom ribs are not sagging into the floor. The other thing is, if you glance down and you can see your foot's too far in front of you. Your foot has to be straight in line with the rest of your spine. Now hold it there. Little circle down and up. Now when I do this circle, I can't be wobbly in my hips or my belly. I gotta keep everything in my pelvis still, and the only thing moving is my thigh. That's it. And it's starting to feel heavy. And reverse. Remember what I said about the core? Core has to be contracting to stabilize. I'm staying long through the waist. And we're going to bring that leg to the front. I don't even know how many we did. So, I brought my leg to the front, but I know most of you now, you've rounded your back. So lower your leg a bit, flatten your back, or more neutral. So point your tailbone behind you. Is your waist still lifted? Exhale, contract the core, pick your leg up. Too high, tap it down. Pick it up just a little bit higher than your hip. And down. Contract the core first, pick it up. Place it down, rest it every time. Pick it up. Rest it down. Now pick it up and keep it up. Little pulses. 10. Do you still have that little arch in your back? Are you neutral? Good. And down. Now we got one last exercise, rainbow. We pick the leg up, we sweep it all the way back. Front. Now what's going on with your ribs? Are they popping forward when your leg goes back? Yeah, I thought so. Exhale, squeeze the core and reach the leg behind. Inhale to the front. Exhale, and it is a rainbow. Rainbows have an arc to them. Inhale, inhale, and exhale, exhale. Inhale to the front, exhale to the back. Here comes the dog, waking up from her nap. Hold the leg behind. Little ones, 10, 9, 8. Reach that leg as far back as you can. And release. Should be feeling that. In the back side, the bum, not the front side. Not in the front of the hip. We're going to flip it over. Now, bottom leg bent, top leg straight, waist lifted. See the space underneath? If your shoulders shrugged and everything's touching, it means your spine is saggy. So hold the shoulder down, lift a little bit away from the waist, flatten the ribs. Top hand goes on this hip. The bottom leg could still be burning a little bit, that's normal. Try and relax the bottom leg, lift and lower. Lift from your bum, not from your waist. Right? Your shirt does not wrinkle up on the side. It stays long through the waist, and you lift from your hip and your bum, and your leg just comes slightly higher than your hip. Sure, I could bring my leg way up high, but that's not the exercise. That is not what we're doing. Hold it up and circle. Down, up, down, up, down, up. My waist stays away from the ground the whole time. My core stays engaged. My ribs are flat on the spine. Reverse. I don't think we reversed on the other side. I'm looking at you guys on the video, even though you're miniature from here, but I can see your legs. Good. Now we're going to bring that leg to the front. Remember, keep your bum sticking out behind you. Keep that little arch at your lower back. Feel your lower back. You should have a little arch so you know you're neutral. If not, lower your leg a bit. Exhale, tighten the core, pick the leg up, put it back down. Now notice, are you pushing with your bottom leg? You shouldn't be. We're lifting the top leg. Don't use your bottom leg to try and pick the top leg up. Use your core, stabilize. Rest it down every time because I want you to re-engage every time. Last one, we're going to stay up there. Little pulses, 10. Another thing that you might end up doing is tensing your neck and shoulder. It's crazy what our neck tries to do to try and help out. And rest it down. Rainbow. Exhale, behind, squeeze the core. Inhale, come to the front. Exhale, lift and reach. Inhale to the front. Keep the waist lifted off the ground. Inhale to the front. Exhale. Your pelvis stays neutral the whole time here. We're not going from rounded back to extended back. We're keeping neutral as your thigh moves forward and back. Focus on reaching behind and stay back there. Reach that leg behind and pulse 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and down. How did that feel? We're going to come up on the hands and knees, and we're going to go side to side. You'll probably feel the lactic acid in that last side you just finished more than the other side, so don't be alarmed if one feels a bit more burny than the other one. Now we're gonna sit with both knees 90 degrees. So that means this front leg, this foot is at my knee. It's not pulled up in my groin. It's at my knee. Okay? See that? My knee is on my foot. Now, you gotta lift yourself up and get your butt and your thigh out from underneath you, because it kind of gets stuck. So lift up so your back gets nice and flat. And that might be all you need to do. Once your back is flat, you can start coming forward to wherever you have the proper amount of tension for you, okay? And you should feel it underneath, in here, not on the other leg. If you feel it on the other leg, then this is not a good stretch for you. You might want to try this one. This is another option. Let's switch sides. So both knees 90 degrees. Most importantly, this front leg is not going to be too bent. Bring the arch of your foot to your knee. Stick your butt out. Flatten out your back. And slowly lean forward. Good. All right, come on. Let's do a quick inner thigh stretch. You can have both knees bent and sit up nice and tall. If for some of you, if that's not much of a stretch, or if you feel like you're falling backwards or you're really rounded, put your hands behind you. That might help if you can't sit up straight. Or you can do both legs straight. You can have your hands behind or in front. And we're going to finish with one more child's pose. See how you feel now. Take some nice deep breaths. Relax and expand. And slowly come up. And there we go. We're done for another day.